All right, thanks everyone for being here. I think all of us have been to a previous presentation, so I will spare you my spiel about what it is that Carolina is going to share with us. So we'll just give her 20 minutes. Once she is done, I will offer some comments and then we'll ask everybody else to contribute and her your well wishes and questions and all that sort of thing. So.
Great. Thank you, Christy. Hello, everyone. Well, I'm Carolina Gonzalez, as all of you I hope know. This is my third and last interview presentation because next year is a senior excellence. That's just crazy to me how time has flown by. But yeah, let's start with, okay, there you are. Just a quick overview. I'm gonna go over the pillars and then I have a study abroad section just for itself because it was just too much. And then what's next, and then just fun and growth with other people. So I'm gonna start with knowledge because I wanted to start off with my summer. I went to a neuro program at the University of Michigan. I got an REU, and it was my first full-time job. And it's just so different than studying. It has its pros and cons. I enjoyed studying a lot, but I also love being at the lab full-time. I've never done that before. So I think the reason why I enjoyed it so much is that I had 3 incredible mentors. So she's my PI, her name's Sarah Aiden. His Binod, he was a 5th year PhD student. Her name's Kate. She was a 2nd year PhD student, rising 2nd year, and he was Frank. He was a postdoc. So with the 3 of them, I did different things. But Frank, he trusted me his entire project. And first, he showed me what I could do there. And I went downstairs with him. He showed me how to inject the mice and what they have to do and why they have to do it. He showed me the different procedures for different types of memory. And I was like, oh, cool. And he told me, you're getting here 8 a.m. tomorrow, right? I was like, okay, I guess. I get there and he's like, are you ready to do it? And I didn't know I was doing it alone. So he just let me do his entire project by myself. And I was not expecting that, but I managed to do it. I didn't know I was capable of leading that and doing it and just like accommodating times for me to eat, at least like an hour, 30 minutes. And yes, it was very impactful. I also presented an oral presentation for the first time, my first poster presentation for the first time as well. This is me with the mice, how to handle them. And it was just very fun. I didn't think I was gonna have so much fun studying. And another reason why I enjoyed it so much is because I had 24 incredible people from around the US and Puerto Rico. And we were very different backgrounds, diverse, all passionate about neuroscience. And we just had very different personalities and they made it very fun. We even did acrobatics. I don't know the exact name, but we did that. We cooked, we watched movies, we played Just Dance, we watched football games, and it was such a fun experience. These are the close people I grew with the 6 of us, and yes, such a fun experience. I also got to go to Canada with my family for a weekend, and then Fabian and I went to Chicago with Catherine. So my first time traveling alone, and yes, just the summer was a really big learning experience, and that made me realize that I don't know how and I don't know when, but I'm getting a PhD in neuroscience. More about knowledge. This is a random picture I took from my family, probably, and I am working with Dr. Burgos Robles. I've been working with him for the past 2 years. It's an anxiety lab, and we do behavior. But right now, I'm very focused on histology. Histology is those are the brains of mice. Just cut them, take pictures, and that's basically it. But this semester in January, our new article was published, and it was very exciting because it was a very interesting article. It included so many things like different type of behavioral paradigms, different stress, no stress, and different type of parts of the brain. And it was very exciting. Right now, I am working on the follow-up paper. That's going to be my project for the summer, and it'll be my project this semester. After working on pathology, taking pictures of the brain, and organizing which brains do we have, which brains we don't have. Just working with the grad students, my undergrad, not my undergrad, the undergrads in my lab, and my PI. But yes, for leadership. So when I was abroad, I'm going to talk about this later, but I realized that I wanted to go to conferences. So I did it. I presented 5 times my research. I never presented before, just in Michigan. So I went to 3 different conferences. I went to Maryland McNair conference over spring break. That was something that I was debating a lot because I don't spend time with my family as much. But I think they understood like my professional path is like on the making right now and I have to make some sacrifices. That was one. I also didn't know the people that were going. It was only because Seneca's and McNair, she wasn't going, so I was alone. But I really get to know other people and get out of my comfort zone completely. I also got to go to DC for them. But that's me in Maryland. And then I also went to Turk for just a day in Austin, in the University of Texas, and I also presented my research. And then I went to Anchor in California. I went to California for the first time to do my research. Two other poster presentations that I did. It was here. I presented my UTSA research for the first time ever, and it was very exciting. I was very nervous, but I did it. And then I also went to Viva Science, and that poster looks different because it's more like family friendly. So I had to redo my entire poster and my ideas and to put them in like family friendly, cartoonish way, almost funny. And I felt very silly while I was doing it because I'm not used to it. I created a QR code for the first time, for very pro. But people approached me. I got to give my presentation in Spanish and in English. I met families from Laredo. They were very happy. They asked for my number, just to know my number. I was like, yes, for sure. Also, someone very important like approached to me, and we were talking, and just getting that confirmation from other people that know about this subject made me feel confident about my research and my abilities. I also got to talk about my study abroad, which in any opportunity that I do it, and I loved it. And I won second place. Someone won first place. I don't know who, but whatever. And it was very fun to talk about my study abroad and just remember what it was now that it has been like a semester, now that I've been here. But yes, the conference and presentations were a big part. Now I started working with Dr. Perry, being a reader and a grader. The story was that I was in Urbino and I have had a class with Dr. Todd Foyer. And I emailed him when I was in Urbino and I was like, I'm interested in being your grader. And he said yes. But he asked me if I could be like double custody, like Dr. Troyer and Dr. Perry. I said, of course. So I get back, Dr. Perry emails me, and I go into a meeting with him, and I'm just confused, like, where's Dr. Troyer? So Dr. Perry's just like talking, and he's just stressed and a lot. And I was like, yeah, it's okay, but where's Dr. Troyer? He's like, oh, you didn't know? He got into a car accident and almost died. I was like, oh my God. So Dr. Perry was just very stressed, and he doesn't know, like, he struggles with Canvas a lot. And I didn't have like the abilities to. I wasn't like a Canvas pro, but now I am though. So after that, I'm really interested, and he just tells his students like, please contact my grader because she's more tech savvy than I am. And I wasn't, but I became. So I address students' individual questions and concerns. That's basically being on call 24/7 to whatever he emails me. And it's been very fun. I'm not a TA, which is what I wanted. I just wanted to be a grader, and I've been like reinforcing my learnings in neuroscience and addressing some questions, and working with Dr. Perry, of course, just great. I also started shadowing. This is another thing that I wanted to do because I don't think I have enough experience with humans, and even though I have lab experience, I don't want to stay working with mice my entire life. That's something I realized over the summer. So I was coming back from Dallas. I was at the airport, and I've been asking, like, I don't know, some God, like, please give me a sign. Like, I don't know what to do next. And the person in front of me at a coffee shop had a backpack that said this logo. And I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. And instead of approaching, I emailed them. I later realized that the person that had that backpack was the owner and the founder of the place. And that would have been very funny to approach. But lesson learned, I have to start talking up more. Anyways, I shadow psychometrists. So what they do is just testing the patients on their cognitive abilities. It depends a lot. This institute in particular, they do legal cases and insurance cases. So they do cases in which they have to like find the defendant in the position. And those tests take like 8 hours or 6 hours. It's just there all day. So patients have been asked if a stranger, me, can just sit there and take notes, and they said yes. So I set them to batteries because they're called testing batteries. It's just like the test they do basically. And it's been very interesting to see what I've learned in class before, like in Intro to Neuroscience or in neurobiology lab, where we put some labs and we tested this test with each other for a grade. And now that I'm putting them into practice. Another thing is that I help with paperwork. And even though it may be busy work, like I'm just scanning papers and just throwing them away, while I'm doing that, I'm getting familiarized with the testing a lot. And I'm trying to understand, like, this is for this, and trying to, like, correlate what they're doing and why are they doing it. And I've also seen, like, some diagnoses while I'm throwing them away. So it's just very fun to, like, read whatever, like, previous cases, and see a seizure, or the patient was, like, shaking or stuttering, and just little notes that the doctor does. But yes, it's been very fun to shadow. This is me the first day, and this is my family. For service, well, Catherine already said it, but I don't know if this counts as service or leadership. I think it counts for a lot of categories because we do a lot for this organization, period, of course. So I was not an active officer while I was abroad, but I came back and I knew that I wanted to be a co-president, and I knew that I wanted to give my input. So the co-president and I are very different. We're complete opposites, and I think that we complement each other, and we've done great things. So this semester we donated around 200 menstrual packs. Each pack has, I think, 8 pads, 5 tampons, something like that, and some liners and wipes. And a big thing about period is not only ending period poverty, which is a big thing, of course, but there's also a big thing about ending the stigma. Because even myself, I feel uncomfortable because I'm the co-president and I have to talk about these things all the time, even with men. And I found myself uncomfortable. And it's something that I just don't think that should be that way. So being an active advocate in my daily life and in my organization has been a huge thing. And I think people also realize that need because this semester, a lot of organizations emailed us to collaborate. And we just couldn't say yes to all of them because it was too much. But we did collaborate with 5 on-campus organizations. And that says a lot. We have a big number of attendants. And yeah. Then Dia de la Sombrilla, I was so stressed by Dia de la Sombrilla. I've never done Dia de la Sombrilla. And we wanted to do another thing. We got hot dogs. So hot dogs needs like specific ingredients. And at the end, we did it. We sold around $700 in profit. And we were just not expecting to do as much for hot dogs. But we did it. Like, it was the team, definitely. And then we had 4 packing parties. One of them was with condoms, and 3 of them were menstrual products, and 3 workshops. I also organized the panel with the founders because I contacted them. I knew one of them, and then she helped me contact the other people. I wanted to get their input and like just a strong way to finish the semester. So I texted them. They all said yes. So 2 of them were the founders for the period chapter at UTSA. One of them is our advisor, and the other ones are just officers, previous officers. And we had a panel, and it was very fun to see them get together again for the first time in like 5 years and spending time with each other, just giving us their knowledge and their time and their energy for the organization. And they told us that they're still in their group meet. So that was just a fun fact. Okay, the study abroad. Study abroad was everything and nothing how I imagined it. I went to Urbino, Italy. It was only 90 days. I said that it's 120 American characters because it was a lot of people. Like some of the people that I met there, I feel like they were just put there and that's it. That's very interesting. 4 countries, we could visit 4 countries, more than 12 cities, and 1 language because in Urbino they mostly speak Italian. But I did practice my French when I went to France with my family. Italian, of course, and well, Spanish in Spain, but I always practice Spanish. If you don't know how Urbino looks like, everywhere you walk, like you're going to school and you see this, or you just have to go eat something and you see this, like just like your TSA. And I get to be back, and this is a picture of my first week. We were walking around and we went to the church, and it's just a picture of the ceiling, and I just wanted to show like the Italian architecture and how Urbino embraces and embodies the Italian city, the Italian dream. And sometimes I would think like if I went to another city that was bigger or with more resources, but I think that I was where I needed to be. I think Urbino had everything that I was looking for. I got to practice the Italian, which is my 5th language. That's what I wanted to do. I got forced to do it, and the views and everything. I've never experienced something like that before. Personally, this is a capelletti. This is a pasta that's only in Urbino, and it's the best pasta I've ever tried. But I realized that my body really enjoyed the food over there, the portions, and that it was very organic. So that made me realize that I maybe have to make a little change when I go back because I'm feeling so much better now. The lifestyle as well, because we walked a lot. Like sometimes we walked around 10 miles when we were in Rome a day, and going up and going down. And it also like here I've been enjoying, but I've been enjoying fast. And over there, I just got to wake up and get a book, order a coffee, and just watch people, watch dogs, watch babies, and sit down and enjoy. And that's something that I haven't done. And that made me realize like I can accomplish things, I can move forward further, but I can also live here and I can also enjoy. So with that came introspection, plan, and focus. I was thinking about my future plans. What did I want to do after graduation? What did I want to do after I got back? And that made me time to like plan my next semester a lot. In academics, I'm a neuroscience major and I went with the medical humanities program. And I really enjoyed history of medicine, psychology of health, but I missed neuroscience a lot. So I was talking with one of my professors one day. It was about to be registration day, and I had a minor in chemistry because I love chemistry. I think it's something I enjoy a lot, but I also have other focuses. So whenever I was doing my priority list, chemistry came to the bottom. And I was very sad. I asked my teacher, and I was like, this is going to be what I do, whatever she tells me. And the first thing is like, why are you doing this? I was like, I guess you're right. So it was very hard to get rid of my minor. I even thought about it when I got back the first week to register last minute to a class, but I just let it be. And I hope I can come back to chemistry either like pharmacology way or something in the future. But yes, and I also learned Italian. That was very fun because we learned it in class with our teacher Sylvie, and then we even created a small play in Italian and just talking with locals and with other students that spoke Spanish or that spoke English, and we would like practice with each other. Another thing is that big shout out to my travel partner because it was a big part of my trip. This is us in London. So I left her alone in Madrid for a few hours, all the way to going with my family in Paris. So we went a long way, and that's my French family. That was very fun. So overall, I had two of the greatest teachers I've ever had. I'm even taking an honors course next semester with Dr. Gardner because I love medical humanities, I love history of medicine, and I love her teaching style. It made me feel motivated. And I think that I need sometimes those classes where I like learning, but I also want like a good teaching style, a good professor. I saw things that I never thought I would see, not as early in my life as I did. And this is thanks to the Top Scholar program. Honestly, thank you for like your help and your support and everything. I got to see the David in person. That's one of the few things that made me like actually want to cry when I saw it because this is me, and he's like huge. And just see him down the hall, and it's wow, it's incredible. This is the Vatican. This is Barcelona, Gaudi. That's Urbino. That's That's Venice, and I think that I was just very shocked. I'm a very emotional person, so I just wanted to cry all the time when I saw something pretty. And we had our little friend group. It was our safe space because there were so many people in the program, and I think that I could come back to them. We could eat together, we could go out together, we could dance together, we could talk, do homework, do projects, and it was like different personalities, and it was just so fun and laughing all the time with them. So what's next? This summer, I'm gonna stay at UTSA. I really wanted to stay in San Antonio. I'm very excited to do so for the summer. I'm gonna be with the minor program, and I'm gonna keep working with my lab. It's the same picture, and we're gonna keep working on this another project, and I hope we get published this summer or at least and review this next semester. I'm also gonna keep shadowing, and I hope to get a more specific project for myself or for my interest. And I'm also going to be taking 2 classes because I don't want to take a lot of classes next semester since I will be hopefully applying. Well, personal growth, I think I learned a lot. So this is my first year without antidepressant anxiolytics. My doctor wanted to give me a high dose of Xanax when I was an antidepressant, and I said no because I didn't want to. And I feel like I'm a very emotional person, passionate, energetic, and I wasn't feeling any of that. So with the meds, felt like, yes, I'm not feeling anxious, but I'm not feeling anything. So I told the doctor, like, I'm gonna stop taking this. And well, no, I didn't tell him, but I told him like my plans. He said yes. And my backup plan was things like stability. I love having a good routine, something that I could rely on. So this is a very simple dish, but I got very interested, maybe not in cooking because I'm not a chef, but I do like to plan out like my meals, easy meals with enough nutrients so I can be like energetic, that can sustain me throughout the day, and I cannot feel hungry. I feel energized, and I enjoy the food. So I've been getting a lot into nutrition. Then I've been working out, and that has helped me a lot too because I feel like it's a good way to supplement the effect of anxiolytics or antidepressants that I had. And I also started listening to podcasts and to audiobooks. So these three became my hobbies. Things were like, without the analytics. And adaptability for the past 10 months, I think that's what I learned the most. I've been moving around so much. And there's a point that I just want to be at home, be with my family, with the people I know. But I don't think like I like doing these things. So I just learned to like be flexible and just like enjoy where I am. Over the past 10 months, I went to 7 countries, 22 cities. I had 6 months of presentations, and I had hectic spring break. And I have to mention this because it's just, now that I see it back, it's fun, it's funny. But after being chased and bit by dogs, and then my grandma passed away, and then going to the McNair conference, I realized like the importance of a good support system. If it wasn't because of my mentor Alvin, because of my family after my grandma passed away, or my mom for taking me to the hospital, of course, I wouldn't be able to succeed and just keep going with my life. And yes, like feeding and going through those things, but also like keeping on with my life. And I think like my grandma passing away showed me like she's such a great woman, and the things that she did and everything that she was, I have it in me. So that made me feel like strong to keep going and to like have her in my life. So with a good support system, that's how I want to end on my presentation, saying thank you. Thank you for everyone that was part of my my semester. And for these people in these moments, I think that made me go like made me have a very, very good year, and I'm looking forward to my next year to be with them and create new memories. But yeah, thank you so much.
Great presentation. How do I think you've really taken everything you've done and reflected and been able to succinctly think about what it means, you know, for you. And it's just great to see you grow and bloom the way that you have. And I think back to when you were first coming into the program to now, like, wow. I am a little disappointed that we didn't get photos of Catherine and he going to the gym with you daily. It's happening here, but there's, you know, there's still a few weeks left.
Yes.
Right, before you all move out. I'm also excited about a lot of the faculty you're working with, and even over the summer, I hope you'll really think through and we can talk about how to have them best think about your strategy for PhD students.
Yes.
Because you put yourself in places where you're working with phenomenal people. They're very impressed by you, or they wouldn't believe me when I say if you weren't doing well, Dr. Ferry would have, you would no longer be working with Dr. So, you know, take advantage of those folks around you and really think about how that gets you to the next step, because I think the future is just tremendously bright for you. And I'm glad that you're really happy and you seem very content. You seem probably more settled with yourself than I've ever seen you to be. So that brings me a lot of joy.
What are the 5 languages?
It's Spanish, English, French, Portuguese, and Italian.
I think when you started, you were shy because English wasn't your first language. And I think you're now realizing that it's amazing. Congratulations. I can only speak one.
I wanted to apologize. I walked in very late, so I was at an event and then they held me after. I was supposed to I need to leave. But I did want to say, I remember you coming into my office when you were taking organic, very discouraged, maybe a lot of imposter syndrome that you were feeling at the same time. And over the past months after that, I started to see you grow and push through those barriers. And I think it's really important that you one, that you go through that, because a lot of times what happens, a lot of people, when you don't feel that stress, then there's no opportunity for growth, right? Because it's what you're going to do when you get past that stress that's going to help you grow as an individual. And I've seen a lot of growth in you over these past few months. And just always remember that imposter syndrome doesn't go away, but it's just that you remember you are able to push through it. and remember that, because I think that's something that's gonna make you very successful, and you have that tenacity to do that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I just want to say you've done some really great high-level experiences, right? Research, presentations, publications, and so forth. And I'm gonna kind of parlay that into the ELF. I'm glad you had a great experience at the ELF. The ELF is meant to be fun, right? It's meant to show those other spaces of us that our professional side doesn't define us, right? We do a lot of other kinds of fun activities and how those translate into valuable skill sets. But also don't forget that this is also another way for you to parlay those professional skill sets into the ELF. So you're presenting the technical information of your research at those STEM-based conferences. Well, the ELF is a great way for you to present on the herb side of it, right? The resiliency it took. What was your path? What was your journey like? What was it like to do research? What was it like to struggle in organic chemistry? You know, those different spaces, because that is going to talk to those characteristics and personality traits later on that people are looking for when they're interviewing you. How are you going to flourish and thrive? You know, how did you overcome challenges? How did you see things in new and novel ways, right? So I encourage you to think about ELF in the future for all of these amazing things that you've done. You know, definitely in the spaces where you don't get an opportunity to talk about them, like your study abroad and so forth. But don't forget about the professional side as well, to think of it that capacity. And then the last comment I have for you is you don't need to be a chef to enjoy cooking. Personally, I hate cooking, but I appreciate those that do cook. And I hear that a lot where people think that they have to have a lot of skill set in order to just enjoy, you know, cooking and discovering new things. That's actually an experience a lot of students have presented on, you know, about what they've learned out of that. So, you know, don't ever feel like you have to be a master chef to enjoy what you do.
Thank you.
The thing I usually admire about you is commitment to your consistent schedule and taking care of you. I think you learn that maybe the hard way, that it's something that you're gonna do about. But, you know, talk to me like, oh, I woke up this morning and I took an everything shower and then I worked out and I made myself this beautiful original meal. And it's awesome because you do that almost every day, you know, and I'm, you know, just like, I wish that I had that consistency that you had to yourself, to take care of yourself. Feel yourself every day and know that it's gonna start your day off perfectly. Your high energy is something that I look forward to all the time. Every conversation we have is full of laughs, even if it's not funny. So, you know, I appreciate all of your company. That's great.
Thank you. Bring those younger students with you. You know, keep recruiting to period, especially. Savannah.
I was lucky to be your travel partner. I wouldn't have gotten a lot of the experiences that I had over there without you. She everything very exciting to me. I don't know why you put the photo of my bad haircut, but it's not a good haircut. But the lady only spoke Italian.
I'll translate.
And then translation issue. And I think you should believe in yourself. You're going to do incredible things. There's not one thing in this world that you won't succeed in. You're going to those places. And of those places, but of course we know where you want to go. But I'm just so proud of you, and you're going to be good. And I was lucky, and I am lucky to be your friend.
Good, but quick.
I'm very proud. I'm very, very proud of you. I know you've been kind of stressed about like the future, but I really believe in you, and I hope you believe in yourself too.
Thank you, Catherine.
Great job.